Joe asked me actually to have a speech about resources, public resources for everybody who would like to start. So he said from time to time there are new people and they typically go through some obstacles how to step from the early models which are published as the tutorials on the Numerai to some more serious work and all that. And he saw that I was doing a lot of the things. I'm still doing all my work in Numerai in Kaggle, and so he said it would be good to somehow summarize that and put it everything on one presentation, so that the new people when they are coming can go through that and check it. So I'm very happy that I have one person in the audience, because all the rest I maybe more experience, although I'm the fossil of the Numerai. Still nobody claims the title yet. But also I believe it might be interesting for the more experienced people, and I will try to convince you during the presentation. So I will briefly speak about what is Kaggle, and especially what is relevant for Numerai from Kaggle. And then about 3 parts of Kaggle which I believe are highly relevant. And the first one is Numerai datasets and Numerai data. Then the compute environment and the example notebooks which I am maintaining publicly on the Kaggle platform. And the last part will be about some tips and tricks how to run the full automation platform on the Kaggle, which is kind of more difficult, but I found a workaround, so it might be interesting also for you. So the Kaggle is the community and the platform owned by Google, so it is running in the Google Cloud. There is a good integration between other Google services like the big database, and as well you can anytime upgrade from Kaggle to the Colab Pro if you would be running out of the resources. It had last year 15 million users, so I believe this is one of the really strong assets of the Kaggle, because what you see here is actually the home page when I am okay. So everybody can create their own account. It's protected by the two-phase authentication taken from the Google. And basically on the left side you see all main components of the Kaggle. So the power of the community is typically in the discussion area. So this is the area where you can ask people for help. So this is one of the really big assets of the whole Kaggle. Then I would be mentioning maybe as the most relevant the section which is called code. So it allows you to run the Jupyter notebooks. So the kernels are Python based or R based. So if you are doing in R, so is somebody, Boris, you
yeah. The flat thing is
okay, as well. So you can choose which kernel you would like to run there. I will later speak about the limits of what you can done for free in that, but this is quite generous, I would say. And then there are data sets. I was talking about that. So you can who would like to publish certain data, process the data, make that public for the others, can do that. So there is a large number of the data sets which are available to everybody, and I am maintaining the Numerai data set that regularly updated so today will be another update of the data. Then I would be recommending the competition. This is more difficult because there is a vast number of the various areas on which the people can compete on. So tournament-like on various real-life problems. Some of them are also from the stock trading. For example, last competition was about closing trading. So when the day is closed, so last 5 minutes of the trading, the movement of the prices in that critical part of the day. And the winning solution was actually pretty innovative and pretty, I think, nice for that. So you can actually check what is the state of the art, how the people are using, what is important to succeed. So this is great source of the information about what to try next and compete as well for that. Some of the competitions are for the money, nice prize money are typically. So
are they showing the code of the winner?
Yes, yes. Well, I'm not quite sure if in all competitions, but generally yes.
Okay.
There are also competitions which are just for the learning. So typically, so this is one also the area which I would be recommending. This is the learning, especially for the new people who, like you have started, without any coding knowledge and would like to get closer to coding. So there is a Python course, machine learning courses, I think time series courses and things like that. So this is good area actually to go through and get you up to the speed. So this is as well for that. Typically the courses are related with competition, which is attached to that, and you can compete. They are running like forever. All of them are making the leaderboards, and some people generously, publish their approaches and results. So this is good learning. I think from all these parts which I was mentioning are relevant. Only the part of the models, which is new one, is somehow I still could not see the relevance. And this is the part where you can basically publish LLM models. So I was not, I didn't have the capacity to go into it, and also I didn't know how to apply it. So from all of that, actually, almost everything is pretty relevant. So what you can do in code environment of Kaggle. So these are the limits, which I said are quite relevant. Basically unlimited resources are on the CPU shapes of so they have a Docker environments, which you can create into it, and you can run your notebook or script into that environment, and it's 4 CPUs or 4 cores actually, and 30 gigabytes of RAM, which is not bad actually for that. You can have also the GPU shapes, so they have 2 versions. One is one GPU P100 from NVIDIA, the other are 2 T4s from NVIDIA, but most of my libraries cannot work with 2 GPUs, so if anything, I'm experimenting with P100. There is also the pretty generous tensor processing units, TPUs, 96 CPUs, 350 gigabytes of a memory. And there are limits on these more beefed up shapes, compute shapes. GPUs maximum 30 per week, which is quite good as well. And 20 hours of the TPUs. When you run your notebook or script, there is a limit of maximum 12 hours, which it can run, and CPUs can GPUs 9 hours. No, actually 10 hours for CPUs and GPUs and 9 hours only for TPU. The notebooks doesn't have a disk, but there is a certain space attached to the Docker, and this is 20 gigs, which you can basically save your results. And it is persisting, so once the version of the notebook is saved, also that output side and output disk is saved with that as well. And if you would like to run more scripts or notebooks in parallel, as I do, then there is a maximum of 5 notebooks, which was lately going down. Usually all the resources are going up, like RAM. So when I started it had, I think, 13 gigabytes. This had 10 notebooks, and most probably I was misusing it quite a lot. So they reduced it to 5. So these are all the limits which somehow require from you to find out how to squeeze into the computing environment. And these are enablers which allow you to overcome these things. The first one is the chaining of the notebook. So whenever you open the notebook or script, you can have the input to it. And the input can be data set or the output disk of the other notebooks, or the notebook itself. So whenever you run it next time, you can take the processing of the data from the previous run, and in that case, you can repeat it and run it almost forever for that. Data sets I was mentioning, so this is another way you can produce your own private database. So any notebook or script or data set can be or public or private. If it is private, it's just for you, you see it, and then in that case, you can basically produce the data. And the last part is they have a Kaggle API, which allows you to run the resources on the Kaggle platform from outside of the Kaggle platform. I think originally it was intended for the people who have their own powerful, machines at home, and for example, they would like to train without these limits their own models, and then, for example, run and publish it for the competition, or and they had as well the possibility to run the notebook from that. So, and this is the trick I'm using most to really squeeze all my pipeline, training pipeline into the Kaggle.
Can you pay to actually increase these limits?
You can upgrade to Google Colab Pro. Yeah. So this is the way how you would like to pay and how you would like to increase the resources. That's for free. Everything is there for free, so this is not bad. So let's talk about the Numerai datasets, which are just now published as the public on the notebook. So I have the 3 maintains. They contain the data from V4. So all the data every week when the round is open. Weekly round on Saturday is open. Then the first step of my pipeline is actually to download it, a little bit process it, and then publish it as here as the public data set. So everybody can use it. You do not need to upload them once more, to the platform. It's already available. There are many ways how you can create a data set in Kaggle. One of the resources is, for example, if it is public URL which is publishing, like I have one small data set which is basically a ticker list taken from the SEC in US. So I just provide the URL, and the notebook is refreshing it and downloading the data. The other option is to create your own notebook, which I'm using. So this is one of the production notebook. This is for the latest midnight data. So what I do there, typically I just in the first step download the data, then doing the EDA, but this is no EDA because everything is normalized, bucketed, so just show how the data looks like in the data set, so how many features, the histogram of the values in that, and so it's very basic, nothing much there. But for some people to see that it might be interesting as well. And then the last step, I am producing these non-overlapping data sets, which are a little bit smaller. So the tournaments are overlapping and the data are in weekly. So there is a 4 overlapping errors. So I'm producing these smaller files as well.
It sounds like you've been doing a ton of work since Prague already.
No, well, yeah.
At least you're presenting it in a very nice way.
Okay. In Prague, I was more spending about the peculiarities of the Czech Republic.
Nice.
So that's available, and you can just play that and use it. Now, when we are talking about the Numerai notebooks which are published there and making public, so I actually maintain 5 notebooks on the Kaggle platform. I am symbolically as well staking into them, so the stake is minimum. But if you look, this is sorted by 3 months because they are not more than. Now there will be about 3 quarters just now in the tournament. It's decent, quarterly returns. If you look, 128 rank on the 3. So it's actually not bad. And this one is the most simpler one for the hello. This is really the one trained on the small feature set from the thing. So I have basically 3 main types. First one is the Hello Numerai, which is the first tutorial intro example available. Coming in 2 versions. The second one is improving the results or reportedly or expectedly improving the results by using the ShatterDex compact feature set. Then other 2 are this is the example network example number 2 about the feature neutralization. The last one about the ensembling targets. Another example publicly available from Numerai. And the last one is called Sunshine, because it was the old example maybe 2 years ago, and it was one of my first which I started to create, and it works best, but not the last time, because it is using as well both ensembling and also the neutralization of the results. When you click through that, each of the public models have a link, so you can click and you will be on the Kaggle and you can see the source code for that. So this is example of the Hello model. So what I do in these notebooks typically, I take the original code from Numerai and I a little bit modified it to run in on the Kaggle platform. So first using the public data set, so not downloading them at every time. And then because the Kaggle environment is as well, there are installed tools like XBoost or other tools. That you do not need to install everything like in code. So doing that. Then I put to all of the models the automatic upload of the model to the Numerai through Numerai for that, because they are then published to the Numerai or uploaded to the Numerai. And then the last part is typically about how to improve the performance of this original notebooks. Typically, but just by using the bigger feature set like medium feature set. This model also have two modifications. One is kind of if you would like to stay on the platform and just publish the predictions. So not the uploading model, but sending just the predictions. And this one is about running GPU learning on that model, which is kind of nonsensical because it's very fast. Yeah.
But I also have another question. What's the difference between uploading the model and only the predictions? Like the model, what do you do when you upload it?
Yeah, so you can create a pickle of your prediction function and then upload it. And the Numerai is running it on their platform every time and just takes the predictions and do that for you. So it's kind of automation. You do not need to send it.
That's since last year, I think they try to lower barriers.
Yeah. Actually, I like it a lot. I think this was the really good breakthrough. Some people do not like it because you give them the
power
pickled code.
Which you probably can decrypt, right?
Which you
There
can
is no
probably
encryption.
It is a zip file.
You could just extract the objects out of it and extract your trees and maybe draw them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Whatever you want.
some people don't like it, but I think anyway there is already the leap of faith when you joining the Numerai.
Yeah, I think that the reason for them to do this is because they had a lot of people try the example predictions, like they go through the tutorial, do that, and then block the moment they have to do this every day for the tournament, where it has to submit this every day and get a warning. You didn't submit today, you didn't submit today. So then they added this step where you just you go through the initial part, you maybe modify the model 2 or 3 times, and you can submit your modified model, and that will continue working. So you don't have to do the pipeline part of maintaining the model.
And checking the open rounds.
Yeah, stuff like that.
So I think it's somewhat of a slippery slope, right? Because you start by saying predict on the live targets and just give us those predictions, which is fine.
Yeah.
And then you say you have your whole the model evaluation thing, where you submit your predictions on the entire validation data set, which if you're into adversarial machine learning can be used to clone a model. And then they finally say, okay, give us the whole model. Why not?
Yeah, it's a matter of trust already.
Yeah, it is. So I do it. So anytime if you would have the issues with that, you still can run it on your own computer and automate it in a way that when you have the 1 hour submission window on every working day, or from Tuesday to Friday basically, then if you are able to provide just the prediction vector to them, this is the way how you can do that. More about the Sunshine model, actually, most of them were running on the 4.2 data until last week, because just to prepare, I was retraining them all on the latest data. So they should not be called Sunshine. It's just like midnight. Now it would be, but because it was the so old model, so. There are a couple of things which are as well useful for running on the Kaggle. First, the old model was that there is a utility script or library provided by Numerai with all the functions calculating the evaluation and things like that. So how to do that on the Kaggle is kind of tricky. You need to create a script, then you can use it as the input, and then you can import the functions from that code. So this notebook is doing that. I was saying that it's doing both ensemble and neutralization. And then the last, I was adding some remarks about what you can do to improve your results more. You know, so like trying the various features, feature sets, how to, you know. So there is a kind of advice what you could do to start your own way and differentiate from the beginning on. There are also some other public notebooks available on the Kaggle. I was doing on top some hyperparameter search for the boosted trees models, or the main ones. I'm doing only boosted trees. So if you would like to see more about the neural networks, then there are some older notebooks public. Katsu is doing something, so you can find it there. Katsu was also doing a thing which I will soon be retiring because I liked it a lot, but it's not working very well. So he was actually using the factor analysis and PCA for feature engineering. So it was, I liked it a lot. And also he is doing signals because I'm doing only tournament, classical tournament format, so nothing on the signal. And Carlo Leperars from CrowdSend. He has, I think, the most influential or highly rated resources on Numerai, because they are very old, and he is using Numerai, which is another kind of API.
That one recently got updated, like half a year ago.
Yeah.
Talking about that.
Yeah.
And UAS is maintaining Numerai, which is that one that you're using? You're using a different library, or?
Yeah, I'm using Numerai from Volcan.
So that's UAS maintaining that.
Yeah.
JD, you mentioned yesterday we were talking about what my model was doing. You would talk like, if A is smaller than B, then use C, else use column D.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of boosting tree.
Yeah, so there's this concept of what's called axis aligned trees, as opposed to, I don't know what, so trees as an XGBoost, like GBM and things like that. We're essentially just comparing against constants, right? You say the split is saying, okay, is this value greater than a certain constant or something thereabout? But you can actually look at interactions. You can say, is this feature greater than a certain scaling of a different feature?
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Much harder to train, and these are called axis aligned splits. Much more expensive, and I believe the only mainstream package which supports this is Yggdrasil from Google, which is a C++ library, and Python wrapper around it is called TF, TensorFlow Decision Forests.
So if you want to explore more boosting trees, so usually when I'm telling JB what I'm doing, he says, oh yeah, that's called this and this. So what I'm doing is also this comparison between features. Is this feature larger than that feature? Then either use a constant or use another feature or use one of the features that you compare.
Actually, the Kaggle platform is a good platform for that, you know, because you can just publish the results, show it to others, they can clone it, they can improve it, you know, and then maybe return it back. And also, when I was doing, for example, the hyperparameter search, then the study, which is the result of the search, is saved on the disk, so you can take it and you can continue that.
Okay, I stand corrected because I don't do trees. I only know it as a rival can. So these are called oblique trees. So the regular trees are called axis aligned trees.
Okay.
And I will add a link to
And the package was?
TFDF. I think I'll share the link on the Council of Elders channel.
Good. There you because it sort of works for me, and I find it like a nice thing to say, like if you're, whatever the features mean, like if your company size is larger than this and your debt is larger than that might have implications rather than saying if you're, so you sort of couple.
So I think
Things
there's a lot of magic in feature interactions, right? So with
Yeah.
regular trees, interactions happen intra trees, but not within the same tree. Actually, it happens within the same tree, but not within the same node.
Yeah.
And so the more you allow features to interact, the more interesting patterns could hopefully be found. It's also the idea behind attention in LLMs and transformers. So yeah,
So you
okay.
have nothing to do with
Digressing too much.
And of course, the publishing on the Kaggle is really good.
Yeah.
Thing, how to.
Yeah, we should maybe boost this in some way on visibility, like in a forum post or get some small grant for it. Because I like the amount you've done is getting more organized and nicer for other people to use to play with. Do you have any visibility in how many people visit your notebooks, or is it just you?
Yes, you have views and you have the information how many people have worked it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And that's an indication that at least they tried it.
Yes.
Yeah. Sounds nice. Cool.
Okay, so last part is about the automation. And this was the most difficult part because actually the whole Kaggle platform is very kind of manual, user interface, you just click save, and which is pushing your notebook to run. So it was very, and also they have certain scheduling capabilities, but these are not very granular or sophisticated for that. So you definitely could not run, for example, your notebook at 3 p.m. Actually and wait for the opening of the round and things like that. So I needed to find another solution which is coming from the Kaggle. And so for having these more sophisticated automation framework, you need a computer outside of the Kaggle. So it can be your computer, of course, if it is running all the time, and you just using the Kaggle API actually to pull the notebook from the platform. You can do the modification and then take the notebook and push it for the execution on the platform. Yeah. So I found a cloud which was for free. Opsys must be for free, of course. Yeah. So it was the Oracle cloud, but it might be anything, it might be your computer as well. And over that, I was starting with cron, so you need some scheduling software which would be running your computer on time, and then in the notebook I had the waiting typically cycle until the round was open for that. I didn't like it so much, but I know that some people prefer this way of doing things. What I'm using just now is basically webhook. So Numerai platform can send, put request to any globally available URL address. So you need the entry point, URL entry point for the webhook. So it can be your computer, or even if you don't want, then there is a Grok solution which is making the entry points public on the network and then triggering the webhook to your computer for that. So you can do that many ways. I'm using it on the cloud. I have Flask Python software, which is basically waiting for that specific webhook, then processing it. Tuesday to Friday is just sending it to the, because I have two models. The part of them uploaded. You do not need to trigger them. They are triggered by Numerai. And then I have larger ensembles which could not be uploaded because of their size to the platform. So I'm still running them in the Kaggle. So it's just one notebook which is producing the predictions and submitting them to Numerai on Tuesday to Friday. And on Saturdays, the big pipeline starts and it's running for about 25-26 hours from that end, and then basically pushing the various notebooks to the platform for that. So this is basically as well in the discussion. So all these solutions are, all the links here are clickable. So then you will have the slides that you can push it, and it will bring you to the specific, discussion area, which is making more clear. Yeah.
But in the end, the top ones just seems neater than checking that every round is open, or what's the reason?
If you have a webhook, then webhook is coming in the moment when the round is open.
And if you, but you can, like, it's a small call connected, then we can run, check open round every minute. And yeah, you might be 1 minute later than the webhook.
Well, actually, you are faster with Chrome because I believe because not to overwhelm the platform, they space it out. So webhook is typically my webhook experience coming about 20 minutes later after the open.
And also open is a bit messy that sometimes my models fail when the round opens according to the API, but then the data is still the old data, and then I predict on the old data and it doesn't submit because it's the wrong number, wrong ID numbers.
So you say I should change the webhook?
Yeah, but my stuff doesn't. Yeah, I should figure out how to do webhook for me, but or just make it more robust.
Yeah, I don't use webhooks either, just to crunch off.
Yeah. I like it more.
Yeah.
One question about the upload thing. As you can tell, I'm extremely cynical about it. So I would not touch it for the 6-foot pole. But what's the limit in terms of the ensemble? You mentioned that you cannot.
Yeah, I think the pickled function must be, I think, normally within 1.5 gigabytes of size.
Quite big.
Yeah, quite big. But once you start to ensemble from many models, and but you can easily go up.
So I think the industry runs on grain booster trees, and the standard solution is that you don't directly use pickles of XGBoost or anything. I mean, pickle, people look down upon pickle. Extremely dirty concept, not secure, not good, inefficient. So there's something called tree-like. So this is what's called a model compiler. It takes your grain booster trees and compiles it into, it can compile it to C, or they have their own format, much more efficient and also smaller. Best of all worlds. But I don't know if their environment supports it. The package has to be installed.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably was the question.
So this is the predict environment in Numerai.
Yeah, exactly.
And they need to.
So they need to have this package.
But they were quite willing to improve it over time because they started.
Yeah,
with
no, obviously that's the approach they have to take, right? Like everything that you ask for has to be installed.
Yeah.
Now, what if you want a special version of XGBoost and everybody else has a different version? So
they do not do that.
No.
Yeah.
But they had like something, I forgot what it calls, but some automate and an automate light, and then they.
But usually it doesn't matter what version of these tree packages you use because trees are just the same, right? It's after they're trained. Obviously, the way you train them can be different, different losses and whatnot and things. But once you train them, it's just a bunch of trees.
Inference engines. So if you are longer on the platform and you need to increase the limit for that, they will do it for you. But I was too big.
For your ensembles, I think the recent option we got was to download predictions from your own models again, from Numerai. So then you can just, then you can submit it to the different, it depends on how you structure it. If you have like 50 models, you submit your predictions to the 50 models, and you want to make an ensemble of those 50, you can just download those predictions from the models at Numerai, and then ensemble them, and then submit that. So then you don't have to keep all the code together for a single pickle. I'm not sure if that works with the pickle structure and upload structure, but
no, it would not work if you have the model uploaded because there is no access to the internet. You know. Yeah. So you cannot. Once that Docker pod is actually run in the Numerai, it has no access to the internet. So you cannot check.
it's something I want to do.
Others maybe.
It's something I want to do at home for my own meta model, which is now where it just pulls from the package that the models have access to and then submits to the meta model. But I found it a real nice addition. But you're right, if you don't have access to within the pickle, upload pickle, you don't have access to the other models. You might request it, so that I think they're interested in ensembling. If it's just ensembling models and code for that, they might be willing to allow that.
Yeah, I think this is something I want to add in my presentation, which is that Numerai is no longer a machine learning contest. I know
It's an ensembling. It's an ensembling contest.
Yeah.
I agree. Cool. Thanks.
Okay. And so, and the last one is actually the one code which rules them all. So obviously over the time I came into the situation where I had, due to the limitation number of the notebooks which needed to be run in the certain sequence. So for example, in the beginning I need to download the data. Typically on Saturday, this is not a problem on the working days. But then the various, platforms, like I was doing some feature engineering, for example, for that, and then it produced the data, and then another notebook was using it, and then maybe the other notebook was, producing it back, and then I needed to wait for all the results, and for example, do the final ensembling here on that notebook. So how to create that. So there is a example code which previously was running in the Kaggle, but because it was 12 hours limit, and also the notebook needed to end in 12 hours, then I was kind of forced to do the change, and then they also changed from 10 notebooks in parallel running to 5. So then I am running it on the cloud, which was the best idea which I had previously, because all of a sudden I'm not limited. It can run for this 25, 26 hours in the cloud, and then just calling it for that. So it is solution specifically for Kaggle. You just define the controlling the Python dictionary structure, which is saying which is the notebook and how it should be run. So check what is the pipeline. Pipeline is the list of the notebooks and how it should be run. If sequentially, meaning one waits after the other, in parallel they can start all of them at one moment. And obviously, if you have limit, it is waiting when the new resource is open. So all of that kind of orchestration is done in the code, which is available just now. It's also in the form of the library. So this is the script. you can basically download it and use it for that as well. So in that way, that limit of 12 hours is just applied to the example which is published there in the Kaggle. So you can take it and by that basically you have unlimited resources from Kaggle for free. So everything's in line.
If people are on Kaggle, please upload some of this models and work.
I have one question: is a Kaggle better than Google Colab, or is it the same?
Yeah, no, it's actually much well the free version. Yeah, this is much better. First, you have more resources. So 30 gigabytes of RAM, and I think it's 12 from Google Colab free version. Then you have all the libraries installed already.
Saves time.
Yeah. Saves time. Second, third, you will find help. You know, it's supported for that. You know, there are people who are actually
running the same programs as you are, probably. It's all data sets.
Yeah, so they can help you, and there is a vast number of already done work published as the public. So you basically even do not need much be on the discussion forums and checking for that. Typically, it was already somehow solved, and the people are showing it how to do it.
Okay, and what can you do with the Kaggle API?
Basically, there are 3 or 4 main areas. One is the taking part in the competitions, so submitting to the competitions your solutions, which are then evaluated.
So you can execute the code through the API, and the code is in.
So the API comes in 2 forms, or should be coming in 2 forms. One is actually very bad, and this is the Python library. I'm not using it at all. Another way how to run it is the CLI, so command line interface. So there is a package created, and then by parameters you basically can run these 3 things. Take part in the competitions, create your data sets or use data sets, and then run the code on the platform. So you can pull the code from the platform, and you can push the platform for the execution there. Yeah. So your internal computer or your computer just do not need to do anything except of the running the Kaggle API.
So one more question. Thank you for your speech. How many modules do you have in your ensemble?
I have a number of them, so I've changed, to the latest wave, and I'm adding a lot for that. So typically, it's about 10 models. I do not have, I believe, something like mega ensemble of everything what I do, but at the moment my ensembles might be, I have 39 models on the competition. One model is just to take the webhook, so it's called dummy for webhook, and it's triggering the others. And from these, I would say, just now I have 6, 7 pure ensemble. Well, to be precise, actually, all of my models are doing ensemble. But they are doing it on one model, so they train the various submodels, and then the final solution is ensemble of these smaller models.
So in your sunshine example, one of your notebooks was an example on ensembling also, right?
There are two of them. So actually, I do not do the target ensemble.
Okay.
I do the model ensemble.
Yeah.
So these example models, you can ensemble or the target, so you create and train it against the various targets, and then ensemble them. Or I train all of the models against the same target, different models, and then I ensemble them.
Did you try to memorize signals?
Signals?
Yes.
No. I actually there was a good discussion. I think in Prague we had. I actually like more tournament because it is the purely mathematical exercise, and I believe that the signals would lead me to what Nassim Taleb calls the narrative fallacy. And this is, it makes sense. So because if you know the tickers and the shares you are predicting, you just think, it makes sense. It makes sense. But, it typically does not, or it makes sense for some time, or it is the rationalization of something which is deep inside of the data, and that's just distracting. So personally, but I feel more that I should be trying like Boris actually more with signals. So
yeah, everything in life is a time series. Like all the input you are getting every time is time series. I'm curious about signals as well.
yeah.
To try some of these things that are more working time series.
So I think I was fairly good at signals when they had the 4-day targets. And then when they moved to the 28-day targets, I lost interest. And that's it. You could just use the free Yahoo data. And
They now have the signals dataset. They have their own tiered dataset.
yeah,
for their budget.
it has something in Europe, 28 features, right?
Yeah, but it's just
Yeah.
it's starting for me to find.
Yeah, I think it harkened back to the old days when it used to be a 21 feature.
And was Suraj not also doing something with a bigger featured dataset for signals? I forgot.
Yeah, I think you're doing a lot of things with signals.
Yeah, he's
Still is, yeah.
Nice. Thanks for your talk.
Yeah.
Super.